As for the top sounds from Sunday, let's turn to Chris Smith.
Number 5.
The stars shine in Salt Lake during the NBA All-Star Game, but none brighter than Boston's Jason Tatum. The call on ESPN Radio.
Here's Tatum's free throw. He's got it, and it's an All-Star Game record, 53 points for Jason Tatum. And Team Giannis is 5 points away from an All-Star victory. Number 4.
Staying in Salt Lake, LeBron James proved that the alley-oop can be a one-man show. The call on ESPN Radio.
Team Giannis the lead. James off the window to himself for the alley-oop slam. Give him an assist and a bucket. 6 points early for LeBron James. Number 3.
We go from the court to the rink where the Wild's Ryan Hartman showed his version of how to handle a rebound, but this one was on the ice. The call on K-Fan.
Kaprizov deep in the offensive zone, trying to get it back for the Wild. His pass just kept in by Spurgeon as he reached out, held it at the line. He'll send it to Brody left side with a shot. They score! They score! Ryan Hartman came down in front. And with 20.4 seconds left, the Wild have pulled back in front. It's 4-3.
Number 2.
Back at the All-Star Game, Dame Lillard launches a three-point bomb where you usually win a car or some prize. The call on ESPN Radio.
Quarter score, Team Giannis 40, Team LeBron 33. Dame Lillard, all net from half court. Wow. At least make it look like it's an effort to make it from half court. Number 1.
We head back to the ice where an overtime goal gives Colorado the Rocky Mountain High. The call on Altitude 92.5.
Coffer wins it again. Back for Devontae. High in the zone. Now Mikko Rantanen has it. Rantanen top of the circle. Cuts to the middle. Rantanen has room to shoot. Rantanen, he scores! The Moose is loose! And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because this party is over.
Avs extend their win streak to 3 straight with the win. Coyotes a 9-game point streak after their overtime win over the Blue Jackets. Devils double up the Jets 4-2 for their 6th straight home win, and the Blackhawks beat the Maple Leafs with Patrick Kane getting his 9th career hat trick. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. All-Star Weekend wrapping up in Salt Lake with Team Giannis getting the win over Team LeBron. Teams are off now until Thursday, but as for what we can expect down the stretch the remainder of the season, ESPN analyst Kendrick Perkins.
KD, Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. Listen, I don't want to hear anything about, they got time to win the championship. No, it's championship or bust this season. And when it comes down to the Phoenix Suns giving up everything that they gave up to get Kevin Durant, and rightfully so, I don't want to hear about they could wait till next year or they got a little time. No, they have to show up and show out. The Western Conference is wide open right now. And with a dynamic duo in Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, you have one of the best in the league, especially in the Western Conference. You have to get it done this year. The pressure is on Kevin Durant. He left Golden State, went to Brooklyn. That was a failure. Now you're in Phoenix in a great situation. You have zero excuses not to bring a championship to Phoenix.
Suns in action at home on Friday against the Thunder. You'll see that one on ESPN. Overtime records at Daytona. You'll hear it next. The Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up Monday, a pitching clock, bigger bases, limited defensive shifts. I'll tell you what the new rules mean for baseball fans. Keyshawn J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
The top headlines are next on Sports Center All Night.
The basketball and hockey seasons are heating up. Baseball is just around the corner, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
Shopify presents cool sheets from aha to
lying awake while you bake isn't cool. I suffered from the wrong kind of hot in bed, heat-induced insomnia. That was my aha moment. bed sheets that keep you cool. Then I thought, how do I even sell bed sheets? That's when I had the idea that made it all possible, signing up on Shopify. With the help of Shopify's intuitive online store creator, I started selling sustainable bamboo sheets that keep cool year-round. And my cool idea became a reality. Hot sleepers around the world rejoice. Shopify makes it simple to keep your cool while starting and growing your business. Start selling with Shopify today and join the commerce platform powering millions of businesses worldwide. From aha to anything is possible.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
It's been an incredible football season, and Adam Schefter has been there each week giving you all the news, inside scoops on the happenings throughout the league. But with the season now over, the Adam Schefter podcast and Granger are bringing you a one-of-a-kind episode highlighting the greatest moments this year had to offer. From amazing last-second finishes to championship performances, Adam will cover it all. So be sure to listen to the Adam Schefter podcast, presented by Granger, wherever you get your podcasts. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Granger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
Union Pacific Railroad wants you to join its team. It's an opportunity that comes with great pay and benefits. There are a variety of open roles across its 23-state network, including train crew positions, with hiring and relocation incentives of up to $50,000 in some locations. You can even get a free college education while working. Union Pacific Railroad connects hundreds of communities, hauling goods Americans rely on every day. Get your career on the right track with Union Pacific and apply today at up.jobs/sports. That's up.jobs/sports.
Greeny. I believe if he announced today his retirement, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. After 5 years, he's played 6 total. He's only actually been on the field for 5 of them. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. On Sports Center all night.
The All-Star Weekend in Salt Lake wraps up with Team Giannis and Team LeBron.
Dame Lillard, all net from half court. Wow. At least make it look like it's an effort to make it from half court.
It's a photo finish at the Great American Race.
Caution is on the speedway. The race is deemed official. NASCAR, by rule, who is leading when the caution flag gets called, that will be the winner of the Daytona 500.
The nation's #1 is taken to overtime.
They do go over the top. It's batted down. Boston at the buzzer off the rim, and we're going to overtime in Oxford.
How's Tiger holding up? up after playing an entire weekend?
It certainly was a little bit more difficult than I probably let on.
This is Sports Center All Night.
With my second pick, I got to make sure it's on stage. Okay, cool. Okay.
Here's Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM, Channel 80. The green flag drops on the NASCAR season on the same day the NBA continues its All-Star pause. The association wrapping up its All-Star weekend festivities in Salt Lake. Team Giannis facing Team LeBron.
Team Giannis the lead. James off the window to himself for the alley-oop slam.
Give him an assist and a bucket.
6 points early for LeBron James.
LeBron James out there leading the team, bearing his name, and playing in an all-star game which featured very little defense. Although, noteworthy, there was some.
Here's Anthony Edwards for Team LeBron. Tried to pass to the top. Stolen by Lillard. Bounces it for Siakam. 2 bounces down the lane and puts it in. LeBron went for a chase down block. Nearly got him.
I thought he caught his hand on the rim.
Siakam's like, oh, we're going to play defense, are we? James misses badly on a 3 from the left.
He caught his fingers on the rim.
Here's Sabonis down low. James at home. Yeah, LeBron's kind of looking at his hand right now.
LeBron getting his finger caught for a second in the hoop while trying to show a little defense in the All-Star game. Why?
Coach Malone is a defensive-minded coach, and I had him in my early days in Cleveland. And I told him I would get one stop tonight for him and try to get one little chase down block and got my finger caught in the rim. But I'll be fine, though. I'll be fine. I don't think it's too much to worry about, but for precautionary reasons, just had to, just take the rest of the night off.
He finishes with 14 minutes, 13 points. Overall, not much that we would recognize as defense, but there was offense and record-setting offense from a member of the Celtics.
Morant in the game. Bounces it to Tatum.
Very nice pass.
Tatum retreats to the three-point line and hits another. He's on a heater right now. Jason Tatum with 31 points. 25-18, Team Giannis, 7-point quarter lead. 7:10 to go in the third. Tatum red hot, left wing, yep. He held the pose, couple of kisses, a point to the broadcast crew. He's got 34 points. Tatum being defended by Embiid, steps back into the corner. Off balance, 3 is good. 37 for Jason Tatum, who's got 20 in the period.
That was a contested 3.
All right, Tatum wants to make a run at him.
He was going to fire that one.
Tatum with an outstanding third quarter against his teammates. Step back 3 on its way. It's good. Jason Tatum, 44 points, crushing it in the third quarter.
How's Boston good offensively? Who do they have that can score?
Jason Tatum with 27 in the third, most in a single quarter in All-Star game history. Oh, and he wouldn't be done.
For the record, a three-pointer good. Tying the record, Jason Tatum. He's got 52 points.
He knows he needs one more.
Here's Tatum's free throw. He's got it, and it's an All-Star game record. 53 points for Jason Tatum. And Team Giannis is 5 points away from an All-Star victory.
All-Star game, of course, played with that target number in the fourth quarter. In this case on Sunday, that target number was 182. First to 182. Team Giannis was sitting on 179.
Tatum inside the arc, drives down the lane, lays it in, extends his record to 55 points, and Team Giannis is 1 point away. Tipped and an offensive rebound to Lillard. Dame time from the hash, hits it. Damian Lillard, the game-winning 3. Team Giannis with the win.
Dame time, pointing to the wristwatch, the imaginary wristwatch.
Mark Kessinger, PJ Carlissimo calling it here on ESPN Radio as Team Giannis beats Team LeBron. It was the first to 182. Team Giannis wins it 184 to 175. Jason Tatum, 55 points to set the All-Star game record. The previous had been 52 by Anthony Davis in 2017. Tatum, first Celtics player to win All-Star game MVP since Larry Bird did it in 1982. Our Rosgold Onwude caught up with him.
Jason, yesterday you told me you wanted to win the three-point contest. And how do you like an MVP of the All-Star game instead?
Yeah, I was a little bummed out last night. I didn't win, but, I'm leaving with something. So I take it.
You're leaving with the big one.
Yeah.
Actually, not only this, you're leaving with a record. You broke this all-time scoring record in the All-Star game. How did you approach scoring throughout the game, quarter by quarter?
I got the JT ones on. I got the debut of my own signature shoe. So I wanted to come out here with a little more motivation. And I just got hot in the third quarter, and they kept feeding me, and I kept knocking down shots.
There was a moment there where you and Jaylen Brown were going back and forth. How was that fun little moment between you and your teammate there?
That was really fun. Obviously, we've been on the same team, and we compete against each other all the time, one-on-one at practice. But I guess for the world to see it was pretty cool.
Okay, looking to the second part of the season, the Celtics right now stand at the top of the standings. What do you have to do as a team to get back to the finals? And I know the goal is to win the championship.
Stay healthy, get in a good rhythm, and just know that this is the final stretch. This is go time, and we know what it takes to get there. We just got to get it done.
Jason Tatum, 55 points, scored 27 in the third quarter, 38 in the second half, most in a single half in All-Star game history. Jaylen Brown had 35 points for Team LeBron, 35 points, 14 rebounds, led Team LeBron in both categories. ESPN analyst Kendrick Perkins.
That was entertaining as hell. And you know why? And I'm going to be biased here for a moment. Because the Celtic boys, the most dynamic duo in the league, put on a clinic tonight. Starting with the MVP and Jason Tatum. 55-piece wing dinner, all flats, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. And then Jaylen Brown, 35 and 14. But see, here's what people don't realize. Let me take you behind the scene when you talk about this dynamic duo. They play one-on-one every practice. They always challenge each other. That's why their skill set is so elite along with others. But when you having guys pull up from the logo like it's a free throw and hitting those threes like the way that they was doing tonight, I don't know how anybody wasn't entertained with that game tonight, because I was.
Your impressions of that whole weekend, the whole vibe out there in Utah?
You know what? I went out there Thursday and I left on Friday because it was cold. And I was like, I ain't really feeling Utah. But I must say, I got to give it an A. You know what? From the celebrity game with our good colleague Richard Jefferson being a referee, a player, and a broadcaster all in one, all the way from the dunk contest, I thought that was spectacular. The three-point shootout was really, really great. And the All-Star game was good. If anybody is saying anything less than that, they are hating. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought people showed up and showed out in great fashion. And I thought all the events across the board was really, really good. And shout out to the NBA for putting on a hell of an all-star weekend. Now, I don't know what happened in the nightlife. I don't know if, if the bar stayed open a little late. That's not my concern. But watching from Houston, Texas, I must say I was very, very pleased for what I saw this All-Star weekend.
And it's Team Giannis that closes the night with the victory over Team LeBron. Jason Tatum, 55 points. Donovan Mitchell for Team Giannis, 40 points, 10 assists. Tatum and Mitchell, second set of All-Star teammates to score 40-plus in an All-Star game. Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook for the Western Conference back in 2017. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio, NBA All-Star Weekend. Not at all in the middle of the season. This will be a sprint to the finish line with about a month and a half left in the regular season. The NBA's version of the third stage of a race, like NASCAR. And NASCAR was running at Daytona Sunday in what turned out to be the longest Daytona 500 in history. Took a record 212 laps because they went to overtime. Twice.
Joey, look out. Oh, they're in the wall. A.J. Allmendinger is in the fence. The entire pack blows up. A number of cars crashing. Bubba Wallace is in it. Eric Almirola adds the leaders race to the back straightaway.
Caution is on the speedway. The race is deemed official. NASCAR, by rule, who was leading when the caution flag gets called, that will be the winner of the Daytona 500. We're waiting. Yeah, we're hearing that it is official. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has won the Daytona 500 for JTG Doherty Racing.
Motor Racing Network with the call. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. gets his first Daytona 500 win in his 12th start. Snaps a 199-race winless streak. Ryan McGee caught up with him.
All right, I did the math. Last time this man was in Victory Lane, which, by the way, was here. More than 2,000 days ago. How's it feel, son? Great American race?
It's amazing. 75th year of NASCAR, the 65th anniversary of the Daytona 500. couldn't get any better. Man, that was a chaotic race. I felt like it was super, competitive. It was tough to pass. Once you got your track position, you didn't want to give it up. But my Kroger Cottonelle team did an amazing job. I felt like the good Lord was watching out for us. I sped on pit road, had to do a pass through. A wreck happened in one while I was on pit road, so we missed that. And then we had just enough fuel to make it there at the end. Man, it was a battle. We knew where victory lane was here, and we got back finally. Like you said, over 2,000 days ago, this single car team works really, really hard, and glad to put them in victory lane.
All right. The moment you took the lead, walk us through that. A lot happened after that, but the moment you took the lead, what was that about?
Well, the restart that we took the lead when, I pushed the 22 out to the lead down the backstretch, and Larson and I dove to the bottom, a little shake and bake there with one of my best friends, Larson. I thought, we were going to race it back to the white and then, see what happens, but then there was a wreck behind us. So then after that, it was just about trying to maintain. I picked the top, knowing that Kyle was going to pick the bottom. I was hoping the 22 was going to pick right behind me because I felt like they were really good pushers all throughout the day, and he knows how to win here. So I knew he would keep me close to the front, and it was just kind of chaos there. Luckily, we were out front when the caution came out.
Yeah, a lot going on after that, but this man held on for the win, and just so you know, this deserves a hottie toddy from this man.
Hottie toddy. All my boys back in Mississippi, let's go.
All right, Oxford party.
Ole Miss cheer. Stenhouse, Rebels football fan, back in 2014, he led the Rebels onto the field before the annual Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. From the track to the links, Tiger Woods did not see an exodus after the first two rounds of the Genesis Invitational. He made it through the weekend, although he was not a factor down the stretch on Sunday. In fact, finishes tied for 45th.
It was progress, but it's obviously I didn't win. My streak continues here at Riv. I feel like the first couple of days I left certainly a lot of shots out there with some putts, especially Friday when I was blocking everything. Yesterday was better. Still wish I could have gotten within a touch of the leaders, but today they're running away with it. So even with a good round yesterday, I wouldn't have been in touch today. But overall, this is a huge success for our foundation and for everyone here involved. The amount of people that came out and supported this event was off the charts. So I think it's a good win all around. Here's the deal. Like I told you guys last year, I'm not going to play any more than probably the majors and maybe a couple more. That's it. That's all my body allowed me to do. My back the way it is, all the surgeries I had on my back, my leg the way it is, I just can't. That's just going to be my future. And so my intent last year was to play in all four majors. I got 3 of the 4. Hopefully this year I can get all 4. And maybe sprinkling a few here and there, but that's it for my rest of my career. I know that and I understand that. That's just my reality.
Tiger Woods at -1 finishes tied for 45th in his first PGA Tour start since July. Finished the week with 1 eagle, 13 birdies, 14 bogeys, although no doubles or worse. Meanwhile, at the top of the leaderboard, it's Jon Rahm who captures the title at the Genesis at 17 under, his third PGA Tour win, and he ascends to the #1 spot in the official world golf rankings with the victory.
I guess I just keep doing what I've been doing. I've been obviously doing a lot of the things I needed to do properly every single day, and that's the important thing, right? Is keeping that daily process as good as I have been, right? Obviously, I've been extremely disciplined my whole career, but right now I'm seeing the dividends of a lot of the hard work over the years, right? So it's just keep doing the small things and keep enjoying and having fun. Obviously, when you're playing good, it's really fun, and when you're winning tournaments, extremely fun. But got to enjoy the tough moments as well. So try to take it all in, and like I said, just keep doing the little things properly every day, and hopefully keep putting myself in position to win.
Jon Rahm has finished inside the top 7 in each of his 6 starts this season. Quite the scare for #1 on Sunday. That's next. Sports Center all night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you why the last 23 games of the Lakers season will define Anthony Davis' Laker future. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
This is Sports Center All Night.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch, and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, I bought one pair of loungewear, and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guaranteed. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Monday on Fitz and Harry, the latest on Derek Carr as he looks to reach new heights with his new team.
Plus, why the Chicago Bears would be the absolute wrong spot for Bryce Young.
Fitz and Harry, Monday, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Coming up Monday, XFL owners Dwayne Johnson and Danny Garcia join us to recap the XFL's opening weekend. Keyshawn, J. Will, and X, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
You can't miss a moment with Greeny.
You paid for it using a gift card that had been given to her?
We had it on the fridge for a while. I pulled it, put it into my wallet, hoping that she might not notice that it was gone. And then I whipped it out at a time in which the waitress gave us
And did she immediately recognize the gift card?
Of course. Linda gave it to her as a present after we had our baby.
So do you know what happened here? Linda took your wife out for a Valentine's Day dinner.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Nikola Jokic lines up his third straight MVP. Shohei gets asked about his future, and Brian Windhorst joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with the state of college basketball. The number one team, Alabama, lost last night to Tennessee. That is the 8th loss by a number one team this season. That's tied for the most ever, and we've got about 3 weeks left. Purdue lost 3 times as number one, and once they stayed at number one anyway. Wilbon, are you finding this college basketball season fun or frustrating?
Fun, Tony, because you turn on at night and you don't know what the hell's going to happen. I turned on last night and you to get that graphic on how another number one team going down, in this case, Alabama. And I know you love super teams. You love great college teams.
I do.
But Tony, it's over for that.
I do.
It's done. There haven't been any great teams for 20 years. I know Anthony Davis had a great Kentucky team, and it was a great Duke team, kind of, sort of. But the greatest Kentucky and Duke teams were 20 and 30 years ago. You got to have people say 4 years, right? You got to have, Grant Hill and Leitner. That's a great team. You got to have Patrick Ewing. That's a great team. Akeem Olajuwon, 3 years. Those were great teams. Tony, there are no more great teams. So if you're not going to have great teams, and you don't, then let's have a crazy race. Let's have disorder. Let's have chaos. Let's have Cinderellas. That's self-serving for me. I'm wearing purple today. You know what that means. Right, I'm looking at my team, Northwestern, be on the number 7 line from Joe Lunardi, a team that nobody picked to even make the tournament in November. So let's have chaos. It includes more people. Most importantly, your great teams, they're none of them. They're ineligible.
Yeah, so I'm happy for you. Northwestern has done a great job. They not only beat Purdue at number 1, then they beat Indiana. They are in the tournament. My school, Binghamton, is second in the American.
You're getting in. You're getting in, big boy.
Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center All Night, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. What a weekend in Clearwater, Florida. Great matchups in college softball. Sunday on ESPN, Alabama, Florida State, 2 out, top 7. Seminoles tying run at third.
Tying run 60 feet away. Muffley grounds it to first, backhanded broad foot ball game. Alabama wins it and strands the tying run at third.
Tied State hanging on for the win. They improved to 6-2. UCLA comes out of the weekend in Clearwater, still unbeaten at 12-0. Meanwhile, in Waco, Baylor holding off a rally from Oklahoma, and they stun the top-ranked Sooners. Baylor with a 4-3 win, handing Oklahoma its first loss in 9 games. So the top team in softball loses Sunday. Top team in women's hoops, South Carolina, in a nail-biter with Ole Miss.
They do go over the top. It's batted down. Boston at the buzzer off the rim, and we're going to overtime in Oxford.
Ole Miss hanging right there with the top team in the land, at least in regulation. As for overtime,
Works with the Ibakwe screen. Waiting there was Cardoso, and South Carolina gets a stop on defense. Here's Cook. Cook hangs in the air, off the window for 2. Ole Miss will not foul. They have a lot to be proud of here today. They took the number 1 team in the country to overtime in front of a crowd, a record crowd of 65-63. But in the end, number 1 stays undefeated, South Carolina.
64-57 the final on the SEC Network. South Carolina, 33rd consecutive win, passing Mississippi State for the second longest win streak in SEC history. Only Tennessee has a longer streak, 46 straight between 96 and 98. South Carolina right now at 33 straight. South Carolina 98-2 in their last 100 games against an unranked opponent. But Ole Miss on Sunday, and Coach Yolette McKeon getting praise from South Carolina coach Dawn Staley.
Yeah, she coaches. She does a great job at coaching. She's very disciplined with her team, and she doesn't settle for anything besides them being great and them being committed to the way that she wants to play. And when you do that and you're locked in with as players with your coach, you're going to turn the program around fairly quickly. She's done a tremendous job. I'm happy for her. I'm happy that they came out to support this team. It is a NCAA tournament team. And she represents the SEC extremely well.
Ole Miss, 19th straight loss against the number 1 team all time. South Carolina outscored by 1 point in the second half, but they get the win in overtime. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. On the men's side, second-ranked Houston facing Memphis.
Shed fires it to Sasser in the corner. Sasser passes out of it to Shed. Shed lobs it ahead to Jarris Walker, and Walker will just dribble out of it. There's the horn, and the Cougars win. 72-64 the final, as Houston wins its 7th in a row, and now 13-1 in American Conference play, and perhaps the new number 1 tomorrow when the polls come out.
Jerry Branham, Lairfield, number 2 Houston, a 72-64 win, their 25th win of the season. Second instance in program history of having at least 25 wins in 3 straight seasons. They haven't done it since the early 1980s. They win despite 3 of 17 shooting from three-point range, 17% from beyond the arc. Number 3, Purdue gets a win in the Big Ten, 82-55 win over Ohio State. Buckeyes 3-13 in the Big Ten this season. NC State, a 77-69 win over North Carolina, their first win against the Tar Heels since 2020 for North Carolina. 11th loss on the season. ESPN analyst Joe Lunardi, their chances of making the tournament?
Next to none would be the short answer. I mean, you're talking about a team not just 0-9 in quad 1, but they just haven't performed against other tournament teams, and that is an issue for the committee. The lack of opportunity in the ACC is an issue for the Tar Heels, and I would say the next 2 Saturdays, Virginia at home and Duke at home, are absolutely pivotal for UNC, and we're assuming they're going to beat Notre Dame on the road and Florida State on the road, and given their road record, no guarantees there.
North Carolina could become the first team to start the season as the number 1 ranked team in the preseason and not make the NCAA tournament. Big Monday, we'll see 5th-ranked Kansas, number 22 TCU, 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Straight ahead, how much load management down the stretch in the NBA? Sports Center all night. It's ESPN Radio.
Greeny. I believe if he announced today his retirement, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. After 5 years, he's played 6 total. He's only actually been on the field for 5 of them. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
The basketball and hockey seasons are heating up. Baseball is just around the corner, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
This is it. Enough dreaming about growing my business online. It's time to get serious about selling in my style, as big as I want to grow, because there's nothing I can't do. It's time to get Shopify.
You go and get it.
Oh, oops. I thought I was just talking to myself there. But heck yeah, I do. It's time to take my business to the next level. Start selling with Shopify to join the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Packed with industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand. From templates that make site design simple to customizations that let you grow at your pace. This is possibility powered by Shopify. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/play. That's shopify.com/play. Go to shopify.com/play to take your business to the next level today.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
It's been an incredible football season, and Adam Schefter has been there each week giving you all the news, inside scoops on the happenings throughout the league. But with the season now over, the Adam Schefter Podcast and Granger are bringing you a one-of-a-kind episode highlighting the greatest moments this year had to offer. From amazing last-second finishes to championship performances, Adam will cover it all. So be sure to listen to the Adam Schefter Podcast, presented by Granger, wherever you get your podcasts. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Granger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau.
I like a certain je ne sais quoi.
While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they can save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Union Pacific Railroad wants you to join its team. It's an opportunity that comes with great pay and benefits. There are a variety of open roles across its 23-state network, including train crew positions, with hiring and relocation incentives of up to $50,000 in some locations. You can even get a free college education while working. Union Pacific Railroad connects hundreds of communities, hauling goods Americans rely on every day. Get your career on the right track with Union Pacific and apply today at up.jobs/sports. That's up.jobs/sports.
Monday on Canty and Carlin, the NBA second half is about to begin. What teams do we have to start taking seriously?
Plus, will the darkness help an NFL team see the light when it comes to their quarterback position?
It's all Monday, Canty and Carlin, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center All Night presented by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center All Night.
Ricky Stenhouse wins the Daytona 500 in NASCAR overtime. John Rahm wins the Genesis. Tiger Woods finishing tied for 45th. Team Giannis comes away with the win at the All-Star game with a record-setting performance mixed in from Jason Tatum.
For the record, a three-pointer good. Tying the record, Jason Tatum. He's got 52 points.
He knows he needs one more.
Jason Tatum finishes with 55, setting an All-Star game record, beating the previous record of 52 from Anthony Davis in 2017. Tatum with 55, Team Giannis gets the win over Team LeBron, 184-175. You heard the game here on ESPN Radio. Our buddy Mark Kestisher with PJ Carlissimo on the call from Salt Lake. Mark?
Jay, thank you very much. Team Giannis had never won an All-Star game with Giannis as the captain. He made a very good pick tonight. His name was Jason Tatum, and he exploded in the third quarter and in the second half to finish off with an All-Star game record 55 points in the win.
I mean, it was incredible. I don't care. Was there a lot of defense played in this game? No, absolutely not. But there were 23 other All-Stars out there on the floor. Jason Tatum just lit it up. I mean, 55 points. He was 22 for 31 from the field, 10 for 18 from three. Most of those 10 didn't touch the rim. They just went through clean.
He was 1 for 4 in the first half from three, so he went 9 for 14 in the second half. Really did his damage from deep. When teams weren't hitting three-pointers early, it was all at the rim.
Oh, no, the three-point shooting early was terrible. JT got it going. Donovan Mitchell also. He was 8 for 17. The two of them just showed the way with the three-point shooting in the second half, and 62% for Team Giannis from the field. Not far behind Team LeBron, 60%, 59.8.
Not too bad. As you mentioned, Tatum and Mitchell go for 95 points for Team Giannis in the win. So now we're in the sprint to the finish. The All-Star game is behind us. We'll keep our eyes. Injuries have been a concern. Giannis only played a minute tonight. LeBron didn't play in the second half. They had three guys that didn't play: Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Zion Williamson couldn't answer the bell tonight.
Giannis, very little.
Yeah, so that's going to be a key factor as we move down to these final 20 games of the regular season.
March is going to be incredible. I think this is going to be the best March we've had in the NBA, certainly in a long time. There are so many teams that are looking enough feel they can win a championship. Other ones trying to get into the play-in. Other people trying to get into the bye in the top six. There are so many teams still involved. Health is going to be a major factor, but there are going to be tremendous matchups the entire month of March and heading into those 9 days we have in April before the playoffs start.
We look forward to bringing it to you. I don't want to say second half. Our final quarter pole coverage will start
45 days,
Saturday night.
6 weeks and 3 days.
Absolutely. And Sunday afternoon here on ESPN Radio. Tonight, Team Giannis gets the victory in Salt Lake City, 184-175 over Team LeBron in the 72nd NBA All-Star Game. For PJ Carlissimo, I'm Mark Kestisher right here on your home for the NBA, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. Now let's send it back to our pal Jay Reynolds in the studio.
All right, Mark, the Team Giannis gets the win in Salt Lake. As Mark mentioned, Giannis Antetokounmpo, limited action, scored on the first possession, and then checked himself out, resting his sprained wrist, but he gets his first win as an All-Star captain. He's now 1-2. LeBron played 14 minutes in the first half, didn't play the rest of the way, hit his finger on attempting a chase down block, hit his finger on the rim. That was enough for him. He didn't play in the second half, but of course he has other issues as well, as he and the Lakers head now down the stretch trying to make a postseason run. LeBron and the Lakers currently 13th in the West, 2 games out of a play-in spot, 3.5 games out of a playoff spot. ESPN's Dave McMenamin.
He says his left foot and ankle has been feeling pretty good since last playing on Wednesday. He said he's been able to have less stress on it because he hadn't been taking the pounding on the court. He's planning for after the break, and this, what he views as a vital stretch for the Los Angeles Lakers.
23 of the most important games of my career for a regular season, and type of mindset that I have, and I hope the guys will have coming back off the break. I want to make a push to make the playoffs. I don't want to see myself not being part of the postseason for 2 years straight. It's just who I am. That's where I'm cut from. I hope I can figure out a way to just make sure I'm available on the floor every single night for these 23 games, so we can give ourselves a chance to get into the postseason.
Now, LeBron recognizes that the Western Conference is really muddled. The Lakers are 3.5 games out of the 6th seed, and there's some work to do to get there. But let's say the Lakers only get into the playoffs as a play-in tournament and has to play on the road and have an uphill battle. LeBron says he's always liked his chances as long as I can get into the tournament. So, hey, whatever the Lakers can do over this final stretch here, just get him in, and he'll take care of business from there.
LeBron James, of course, among the marquee players in the NBA, and one of the issues the association has seen in recent years is that concept of load management, whether it's injuries or just thinly veiled rest nights. It tends to irk fans. Commissioner Adam Silver addressing it this weekend, doing so when he sat down this weekend with our Mark Kestecher.
How much do you think the perception of the league, which is star-driven, that there's only 5 players per team out there at one moment, so everybody's out front, but are you held to a different or a higher standard when it comes to players and health?
I'm not sure how to characterize it in terms of the standard we're held to. First of all, as I was saying yesterday, I absolutely understand the frustration of fans that if for some of these particular marquee players, you take your family, the tickets are expensive, parking's expensive, and the whole thing, and your time is valuable, and you go to the game and that player is out. I will say it's interesting. I was thinking about this last night, that we make a big distinction between the player being out because he's being injured as opposed to he's being appropriately rested. Either way, you're disappointing the fans. And I think just hypothetically, if we knew formulaically that this ex-superstar, if he takes off this game in November and this game in December, that he's X% more likely to be healthy in January and February, I think we'd all say we take that trade-off because it's an ethical dilemma a bit, but you're going to disappoint fans and potentially more fans if he's injured for a stretch as opposed to those two. I think, and I was rambling a bit last night, and I think why is because I think the ultimate issue is how reliable is the science? And that's what I'm really focused on right now. I'm trying to move this away to it being an adversarial issue, either between us and the players, or us, the league office and the players, or frankly, us and the teams. Because in fairness to the players, much of this resting is being directed by the teams and their sports staff who is saying that we have a formula. And by the way, just to be clear, so listeners understand, load management goes to 24 hours a day. These players have wearables on. It goes to how much they sleep, how much their movement is, all these different measures they now use. I just think the question at the end of the day is you take all these inputs, is that how reliable is this information? And I think we'll sort through this. There's no easy fix here. It's certainly not about turning the clock back and saying, just get out there and play. I mean, we all know that there's plenty of guys who are hobbled these days who played back in the day who maybe under different circumstances, different treatment would be in better health right now. On the other hand, these are professionals. They're being paid. And as my colleague Joe Dumars says, as a former player and as a former GM, there's sort of hurt, where most guys are hurt all season long, various body parts, and then there's injured. And you never, of course, want a guy playing injured. And then the question is, in that category of hurt, is there some measurement of hurt where you'd say, you're risking this player's health if he continues to play while he's hurt, or is it just a bit painful and reduce his minutes somewhat and get him out on the floor? So I feel like there's a lot of smart people focused on this. As I said, behind closed doors with the Players Association, this is not an adversarial issue because they want to be on the floor too. These are the most competitive players in the world. And in many cases, it's a team telling them they shouldn't play. And so we will do a better job. We'll work through it. I think this is another area where look at the enormous advances in AI technology coming to bear. And I think when you take lots of data and the teams share it with us and we're working with the Players Association, we'll have a better understanding of what's working and what's not.
Commissioner Adam Silver speaking about the issue of load management with our Mark Kestecher. This weekend, the NBA returns to the court on Thursday. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
I think that Eric Bieniemy also recognized that maybe it was time for him to move on.
I don't hear many of his players come out talking about how great he is. They give him cursory compliments or whatnot, but I don't ever hear anybody say that this team could work because of him.
Life has never been fair. Has it been fair to Eric Bieniemy so far, trying to get a job as a head coach? No. But hopefully he can be successful in Washington and he'll finally get an opportunity to become a head coach.
Coaching staffs continue to be filled around the NFL. Cardinals filling their coordinator positions this weekend. Nick Rallis, the Eagles linebackers coach, heading to Arizona to be the defensive coordinator. Browns quarterback coach Drew Petzing will be the team's offensive coordinator. Sources confirming to ESPN. Of course, over the weekend, the Commanders bringing in a new offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, who just won a Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator with the Chiefs. Hasn't been able to land a head coaching position. Earlier on ESPN Radio, our Jeff Thurn.
I thought to myself, like, this thing has so many tentacles and variables that I could spend a segment on each one of them, from the conversation of, is it a lateral move? Was Eric Bieniemy just a product of the fact that he got to coach, Patrick Mahomes? Is it a situation where, this was about race all along? Is it a case where he thinks that, down the road, this will help prove his status in the league, that he's going to a place with literally no starting quarterbacks, and Sam Howell and Taylor Heineke and, winners win and losers Carson Wentz. I don't know what the ultimate end goal is for Eric Bieniemy, but I will tell you, we're going to find out a lot, because you're going to a place where if you can have success in Washington in a dysfunctional organization with no starting quarterbacks on a team that didn't make the playoffs, damn, you're good at your job. So, at this point, we're going to find out. And then I think, we're going to get a better sense of what Eric Bieniemy is as a head coach. But I will point out, he was offered the Colorado head coaching job. And so, there's been moments where he's had opportunities to leave Kansas City in the past, I'm sure, for other lateral moves to OC, where he could call plays versus what was going on in Kansas City. So I don't believe that there was sort of an X on Eric Bieniemy every time he interviewed for certain things. But for whatever reason, the head coaching position is not something an owner was willing to give him, and they've given him to other minority head coaches. So I don't think that is all of what this equation is, but you talk to people throughout the league, it's been sort of an anomaly to the other hires based on the fact that he has won so much in Kansas City as the OC. Let's say he goes there and the Washington Commanders don't win football games, and he doesn't turn one of these, middle of the road backup quarterbacks into a starter. How much does that hurt his future? He got more money. He got an associate head coaching title to his resume. He got to call plays. But what if they don't win? Does Eric Bieniemy ever get a head coaching job after that? You had it good in Kansas City. I thought sort of the fact that, people would say, well, it's because of Mahomes that you're good. So what? I'm still winning. And that has to open up more doors than when you're losing.
Of course, can't bring Patrick Mahomes with you to Washington. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Speaking of football, opening weekend of the XFL, wrapping up with a couple of games on Sunday, and we saw a comeback win for St. Louis.
3rd and 7. McCarron has a receiver. Caught. Touchdown, St. Louis, and a flag on the play. That is pro.
A.J. McCarron, 14 of 21, 152 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. First touchdown pass since 2016 with the Bengals. St. Louis Battlehawks beating San Antonio 18-15. St. Louis scoring 15 unanswered in the final minute and a half to win the game. Defenders and Sea Dragons.
King up the middle. He's in there. Touchdown, DC. The Defenders now take the lead.
Derek King, 7 yards, 8 rushing attempts, 14 rushing yards, and the touchdown and a 2-point conversion as the Defenders beat the Sea Dragons 22-18. DC, the Defenders defensive coordinator, Greg Williams.
I'm here with Greg Williams right now. You said all the guys had to do was play up to their potential. What about that, coach?
Well, I will tell you this. It's never easy, but it's always fun. I love coaching these guys that will give you every single bit they have, and that's what happened in the second half. We did a much better job just doing fundamentally technique things, and we're never going to apologize for playing tough. We're never going to apologize for having great effort, and we're never going to apologize for winning.
What about Michael Joseph and his 2 interceptions?
Pretty good, and I think he could have had one more. So I'm going to tell him that on the flight home. But we love him. He's done a great job. But it's not only him. The whole team's done a good job. Coach Barlow has done a good job selecting the staff. He's done a very good job. And he and Vaughn on putting the team together. And then, here we go. We got a chance and 1-0.
Greg Williams with our Harry Douglas on the opening weekend of the XFL. Teams in that game, the Defenders and Sea Dragons, combined to go 3 for 5 on extra point attempts. Straight ahead, how tough was it to persevere through the pain all weekend? That's next. Sports Center all night. It's ESPN Radio.
Coming up Monday, while there may not be any more games on the field, I'll tell you why this week is huge in the NFL. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
More Sports Center all night. Next. Mike Greenberg.
James Bradbury just committed a penalty that cost his team the Super Bowl. And he was so great about it, owned up to it, and Juju Smith-Schuster has shriveled. Bush League will always be Bush League. And you win and you lose with some element of class, and that must never change. And that is the unclassiest thing you could ever possibly do.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Winter mornings are brutal. So here's a tip for tackling the day in comfort. Grab new Tommy John loungewear and take cozy wherever you go. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John loungewear, pajamas, and underwear have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch, and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love Tommy John. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers, they have fanatics. Like this Tommy John fanatic who raves, I bought one pair of loungewear, and after wearing them for 2 days, got all the other colors available. The only place I don't wear them is in the shower. Plus, it's all backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guaranteed. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. 20% off right now at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Larry Bird. Those are the three guys in history who have won 3 straight MVP awards. Obviously, LeBron's won 4.
Kareem's won 6. Jordan's won 5. LeBron's won 4. I think Magic and Moses, they've won 3.
So obviously,
rarefied it.
Right. So we thought the standard for Jokic is going to be really high. And what this whole result is showing is that he's meeting that standard.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian Wojnarowski, host of the Woj Pod, where you'll get interesting conversations with the NBA's top newsmakers.
When I started thinking front office, I went all in front office.
Including the game's bright stars of today.
Here with Celtic star Jason Tatum. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Behind the scenes stories from coaches and executives.
Things go well, it's like the union did great. When things go poorly, the president, now CJ's fault.
And breakdowns from analysts and insiders.
It doesn't seem Philly is in all that much of a rush.
Listen to the Woj Pod wherever you get your podcast. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Frank in Florida has some.
Hey, Frank, what's up? How you doing?
This is the best show, bar none, on the radio. And thank you so much for everything you do. He is the best. Jay, Will, and Max, I'm telling you, y'all got the best show. Thank you so much. I travel every week, and I listen to you. I watch you in the hotels. The best show, bar none.
G, J, and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Sports Center All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
We're taking you to Key, Jay, and Max, 6 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN Radio. Sports Center All Night is presented by Progressive Insurance. John Rahm capturing the Genesis Sunday, 17 under for the week. Tiger Woods, 1 under for the week. He finishes back in the pack, tied for 45th. From beginning to end, his revelation, the Genesis, wasn't the easiest.
It means a lot. I mean, it's progress, head in the right direction, yes. It certainly was a little bit more difficult than I probably let on. My team has been fantastic of getting my body recovered day to day and getting me ready to play each and every day. And then, that's the hard part that I can't simulate at home. No matter, even if I played 4 days at home, it's not the same as adrenaline. It's not the same as the system being ramped up like that. The intensity, just the focus that it takes to play at this level. No matter how much I know, I'm very good at simulating that at home, but it's just not the same as being out here doing it.
This weekend marking the first time he finished an event under par since the 2020 Masters. As for moving ahead, ESPN's Mark Schlabach.
Despite a disappointing finish on Sunday, Tiger Woods said his performance in the Genesis Invitational was progress and a step in the right direction. He was able to walk 72 holes over 4 days in a PGA Tour event for the first time in 10 months. And while Woods said he probably did a good job of masking the pain, his surgically repaired right leg, ankle, and foot held up well under the stress of playing for 4 straight days. When will we see Tiger next? He said his goal this year is to play in each of the 4 majors and possibly another tournament or 2, while Woods might tee it up at the Arnold Palmer Invitational in 2 weeks or the Players after that. Golf fans probably won't see him again until the Masters in April. At Riviera Country Club, Mark Schlabach, ESPN.
Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. As for the top sounds from Sunday, let's turn to Chris Smith.
Number 5.
The stars shine in Salt Lake during the NBA All-Star Game, but none brighter than Boston's Jason Tatum. The call on ESPN Radio.
Here's Tatum's free throw. He's got it, and it's an All-Star Game record, 53 points for Jason Tatum. And Team Giannis is 5 points away from an All-Star victory.
Number 4.
Staying in Salt Lake, LeBron James proved that the alley-oop can be a one-man show. The call on ESPN Radio.
Team Giannis the lead. James off the window to himself for the alley-oop slam. Give him an assist and a bucket. 6 points early for LeBron James.
Number 3.
We go from the court to the rink where the Wild's Ryan Hartman showed his version of how to handle a rebound, but this one was on the ice. The call on K-Fan.
Kaprizov deep in the offensive zone, trying to get it back for the Wild. His pass just kept in by Spurgeon as he reached out, held it at the line. He'll send it to Brody left side with a shot. They score! They score! Ryan Hartman came down in front. And with 20.4 seconds left, the Wild have pulled back in front. It's 4-3.
Number 2.
Back at the All-Star Game, Dame Lillard launches a 3-point bomb where you usually win a car or some prize. The call on ESPN Radio.
Quarter score, Team Giannis 40, Team LeBron 33. Dame Lillard, all net from half court. Wow.
At least make it look like it's an effort to make it from half court.
Number 1.
We head back to the ice where an overtime goal gives Colorado the Rocky Mountain High. A call on Altitude 92.5.
Copper wins it again. Back for Devon Taves. High in the zone. Now Mikko Rantanen has it. Rantanen top of the circle. Cuts to the middle. Rantanen has room to shoot. Rantanen, he scores! The Moose is loose! And you don't have to go home, but you can stay here because this party is over. Avs extend their win streak to 3 straight with the win. Coyotes a 9-game point streak after their overtime win over the Blue Jackets. Devils double up the Jets 4-2 for their 6th straight home win, and the Blackhawks beat the Maple Leafs with Patrick Kane getting his 9th career hat-trick. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. All-Star Weekend wrapping up in Salt Lake with Team Giannis getting the win over Team LeBron. Teams are off now until Thursday, but as for what we can expect down the stretch the remainder of the season, ESPN analyst Kendrick Perkins.
KD, Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. Listen, I don't want to hear anything about, oh, they got time to win the championship. No, it's championship or bust this season. And when it comes down to the Phoenix Suns giving up everything that they gave up to get Kevin Durant, and rightfully so, I don't want to hear about they can wait till next year or they got a little time. No, they have to show up and show out. The Western Conference is wide open right now. And with a dynamic duo in Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, you have one of the best in the league, especially in the Western Conference. You have to get it done this year. The pressure is on Kevin Durant. He left Golden State, went to Brooklyn. That was a failure. Now you're in Phoenix in a great situation. You have zero excuses not to bring a championship to Phoenix.
Suns return to the court on Friday, hosting the Thunder. KD says his knee feels solid. We'll see if he makes his debut in that one. That'll do it for Sports Center all night. I'm Jay Reynolds. It's Monday, February 20th, President's Day. Also the birthday of Charles Barkley, who's 60 today. NBA All-Star Weekend is now complete. So is the opening weekend of the XFL. The owner of the XFL is here this morning, Dwayne Johnson, 8:30 Eastern with KJ and Max. They're next. It's ESPN Radio.
next. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Greeny.
I believe if he announced today his retirement, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. After 5 years, he's played 6 total. He's only actually been on the field for 5 of them. He would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
The basketball and hockey seasons are heating up. Baseball is just around the corner, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Life happens live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of the 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, they mean it. Woo, hold up. Just got a new sale. Order fulfilled and shipped. Inventory level's good. Whoa, Shopify doesn't mind if you're at sea level or on top of the world. You can run and grow your business anywhere. Climbing mountains is never easy, but at least Shopify gives me all the tools I need for my business to hit new peaks.
Whether you're selling carabiners or crop tops, start selling with Shopify today and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. We've built the platform so you can keep climbing and grow your business to new heights.
With Shopify, you really can sell to anyone from anywhere.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. 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 Internet connection required. Not available on mountaintops or seafloors.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
It's been an incredible football season, and Adam Schefter has been there each week giving you all the news, inside scoops on the happenings throughout the league. But with the season now over, the Adam Schefter podcast and Granger are bringing you a one-of-a-kind episode highlighting the greatest moments this year had to offer. From amazing last-second finishes to championship performances, Adam will cover it all. So be sure to listen to the Adam Schefter podcast, presented by Granger, wherever you get your podcasts. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Granger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise.